Hi everyone, guess what? I did it. I let my containers dry out. I got busy, the weather heated up, and I didn't change my drip irrigation schedule and get out to water them a little bit more. Can you relate to this? So today I'm going to show you what to do when that happens. Let's go. The problem with containers when they dry out is your plants get stunted, and then it's really hard to rehydrate your containers. So typically I have them on drip irrigation and I keep them nice and wet, but the temperature's heated up. And what I needed to do was change my drip irrigation schedule to water them more frequently. So I first noticed that some of these plants were kind of starting to droop. And then of course the top of the soil got really dry, and the container is super light to pick up when it's dry. So there's definitely clues that there's a problem here. Now it's very easy with small containers to rehydrate, but it's a lot more difficult with the larger, like 100-gallon smart pots. So first what I'm going to do is show you how to rehydrate a small container so the soil is nice and moist and the roots have what they need to thrive. We've got two problems here. We've got small containers that are completely dried out, and we've got a large container that's very dried out. The small containers are an easy fix. Rather than just watering it with your hose, wasting that water and the water all just running through, put it in a storage tub that's filled about halfway full with water, and then let it sit there for about a half an hour till the water will soak up from the bottom and the top of the soil turns a dark brown color, indicating that your container is completely hydrated. What this does is it really saturates the soil so that the moisture soaks into the soil, and then you don't have to water near as often. This is 100-gallon smart pots. Now obviously I can't pick this up and put it in a storage bin of water, so it's a little bit more challenging when we're hydrating this large smart pots here. Now let me just show you how the soil dried out. You can see it's just like dry and crumbly and totally needs to be rehydrated. And I actually did try watering this with the hose, but it just didn't soak into the soil. So what you can do in this situation, water it, really soak down the top surface of the soil of the entire container. And then you have to get in here with a tool or even dig in with your hands and gently mix the moisture into the soil. That way it really absorbs into the soil, and then the roots can absorb the moisture too. And if I don't do this, I'm really going to be fighting with my plants for the rest of the season. They're going to wilt and the roots just won't be absorbing the moisture. It will really affect their growth. You can see how now the soil is getting nice and hydrated. It's looking a lot better. You definitely want to pay close attention to the edges. That's the spot where it dries out the quickest. Let me show you right here how dry this is. The soil's a little bit compacted. So I'll go ahead and loosen it up. How dry that is. Water it and then mix it in. So I've loosened up the soil, moistened it. It's looking so much better. Let me just show you how much better the soil looks, nice and moist. And definitely what I'm going to do now is be adding some more mulch to the top of this raised bed here. I'm going to sprinkle over a little bit that I have right here. 2 to 3 inches of mulch on top of your raised bed goes a long way to helping your containers dry out. Key is also changing the frequency of my drip irrigation. The weather's heating up, so maybe I need to bump it up every day instead of every other day, about 10 minutes, and that's going to help keep these containers nice and hydrated so this doesn't happen again. Now let me show you my smaller container here that's been sitting in the storage bin. It's been sitting here for about a half an hour, and you can see how the color of the soil has changed from a light brown color to a dark brown color, indicating that it's soaked up the water. Now once this happens, you want to remove the container out of your storage bin of water because you don't want it sitting in water for too long. Now one thing you're going to notice, a whole lot different than a dry container, which is really light, is a saturated container is nice and heavy, indicating there's lots of moisture content in the soil. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Have you ever let your containers completely dry out, and how did it work out for you? We can all learn in this together. Head over to CaliKimGardeningHome.com for our 4th of July sale. Get 25% off all seed collections, garden kits, signed copies of my books, and CaliKim Smart Pots with the code July 4th. And we're also throwing in with your purchase a free carrot seed collection and a CaliKim Grow Your Groceries with CaliKim keychain with your purchase. You're also going to want to grab a July subscription box. They're now available, $5 off with the code July Subbox. So you've got some fun things to grow for the rest of the summer. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next video.